Hi there, Libra, Dodici here with your month of March 2023. You know, this is a month of love for you. 7th house of the horoscope. Let's animate it. This part of your horoscope here has the really lucky combination of Venus and Jupiter. Venus, of course, is your ruling planet. So it shows there's a dominant theme here associated with your relationships, your love life, your marriage, your partnerships. And Jupiter expands, Venus brings love. And so that combination is very much sought after by everyone. Astrologers are always very happy to see that combination. Notwithstanding this combination of Mercury and Saturn in the 5th house. But I'll tell you why this 2-year transit of Saturn, which has in some ways been obstructing your romantic life, even your creativity, is about to come to an end. And the power of this Venus and Jupiter, and also another aspect I'm going to tell you about in a little while, are going to lend themselves to you having a much greater confidence, intimacy in the relationships. There you see on the 8th of March, straight after a full moon influencing the sun here from the 12th house, Saturn makes its move after around 2.5 years. I imagine you'll start to feel some sort of lift or some relief as a result of that. These triangular parts of the horoscope, the sun sign, the 5th and the 9th from the sun sign, and Saturn rules this 5th house. It's been transiting this 5th house. Can be a little limiting, a little constraining. It can show, you know, the typical writer's block or that creative block where you've not been able to really feel connected to even things you previously loved to do. That is often more a problem for artists and people in the creative spheres. But the good news is that as that planet moves out of that restrictive power, we see the retention of that Venus and Jupiter in your 7th house, giving you ample opportunity to get closer to the one you love. If you're not in a relationship, to possibly feel more confident now. Maybe you've gone through some trials and tribulations. You've had to understand yourself a little better and dust yourself off from some of those previous relationships where you were hurt, where you were hard done by it. Now I think you're able to let that past go. Have a look at the movement of Venus into the 8th house on the 17th. That's very, very important as well. This 8th house has your karmic point and Uranus transiting. 8th house is your sexuality, your psychological frame of mind. So that's why these aspects are all pointing to a rejuvenation of your love life, a reset of your marriage and your most important relationships. I said to you there'd be another aspect later in the month. Here we see that on the 20th, 21st, Mercury and Sun moving into this position. Even though Venus has left the 7th, we see the new moon on the 22nd. That is a big one along with Mercury, which shows the start of new, big and better things in your life. So these are very, very positive aspects. It's a little bit congested in that area of your horoscope. So you've got to have a good plan. You've got to know exactly where you're coming from if you've got important discussions, negotiations, because don't forget this 7th house is not just about your love life, but it also has to do with any sort of relationship with others. That can be a business partnership. And that Venus transiting in that 8th house around the second half of the month has a lot to say about the money you share with other people. So it's probably the second half of the month when you have to tackle those issues of, well, why are you spending this much money, or why are you paying the lion's share? It's sort of finding equity, which is your key word really, being the sign of the scales. Finding equity in your relationships as well, not just on that emotional level, but in terms of the way you share the resources, share the bills, share the savings and the security for the future as well, because all of those things come under the umbrella of that 8th house. Notice also, just as the month is coming to a close, that powerful movement of Mars into your 10th house of career, really kick-starting your drive and ambition. And by the way, Mars has a directional strength in that 10th house, which is usually indicative of a southern direction. So you'll get more power moving in a southward direction, and it looks like you are destined to make some really big things happen now, both in your personal life and your professional life as well. Why not take a look at what else is there for you at astrology.com.au? Got more of the aspects that are there. I don't touch on all of them, but we do have the report there for you. If you'd like to go over to astrology.com.au, follow the links, drop me a line if you want, subscribe by all means, and I'll see you here again next month. Take care, stay safe, bye-bye.